International Committee to Free the Cuban Five. I'm here to talk to you about the War of Terror. Not the phony war on terror, but the very real war of terror, which the United States wages against countries around the world. Iraq, Afghanistan, Yugoslavia, Nicaragua. These are just some of the countries devastated by U.S. terror. And before all those, and still going on, is the war of terror against Cuba. That war is conducted primarily by right-wing elements in southern Florida, but with the active participation and complete complicity of the U.S. government.
Philip Agee, who was a CIA agent in Latin America in the 60s, wrote this recently. Every dirty method has been used, including infiltration, sabotage, terrorism, assassination, economic and biological warfare, and incessant lies in the media of many countries. Altogether, nearly 3,500 Cubans have died from terrorist acts, and more than 2,000 are permanently disabled. No country has suffered terrorism as long and consistently as Cuba. It was to stop such acts that the Cuban Five, these five, came to the United States. At great risk to their lives, they infiltrated terrorist groups to expose ongoing terrorist plots. And when the Cuban government provided that evidence to the U.S. government, what happened? Instead of arresting the terrorists, the U.S. government arrested the five and put them in jail, where they have been for more than 8 years now, convicted on trumped-up charges by a jury in Miami, the most right-wing anti-Cuban city in the United States. And what about the terrorists? The two most famous terrorists are Luis Posada Carriles and Orlando Bosch, masterminds of the bombing of a Cuban airliner, which killed all 73 people on board. They have a long string of terrorist acts. Just a few years ago, Posada and his accomplices were actually convicted in Panama of a bombing plot attempting to which would have taken not only the life of Fidel Castro, but of hundreds of Panamanian students who were listening to him speak. And how does the U.S. government, the government that claims to be carrying out a war on terror, treat these real terrorists? Orlando Bosch was pardoned by George Bush and walks the streets of Miami. That's George Bush Sr. And the U.S. is currently refusing to extradite Posada to Venezuela, where he's wanted for murder, or even classify him as a terrorist. Instead, it's holding him on an immigration violation. The Cuban Five were defending Cuba's right to exist as a free nation, and now we ask your help to help set them free. They recently lost an appeal for a new trial on the basis of the biased location of their trial in Miami, but other appeals are still in process. And more importantly, the political process, pressure from people like us, must continue until they are free. Quoting Philip Agee again, freedom for the Cuban Five should be the cause of everyone for whom human rights and justice are important. Please stop by our table, which is located just to my right near the front of the plaza, and get involved with the struggle for their freedom. Visit our website at Free the Five, that's freethefive.org, which is updated daily, and keep informed about developments. Join us in this fight. Stop the U.S. war of terrorism against Cuba and the world. Extradite Posada. Free the Cuban Five. Yeah!